Now, shifting gears to the most important part of every show, today's guest is local real estate agent and appraiser Tina Mallamas. She was on a while back with her appraiser cap on. Today, she is on the show with her real estate cap. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You actually brought this up we worked together at Century 21 Black Bear Realty, and she brought this up a while back, and I thought, wow, that would make a really great show. In real estate, to me, it boils down to three P's: property, price, promotion. The property, the condition of the property, that's really the owner's responsibility. The price. Now, the owner's going to get counsel from their agent, but ultimately the owner decides on what the property will be priced at. And then finally, promotion. That is the agent's responsibility. Today, Tina and I are going to be looking at the first P, property. And this is always a fun one. What are your tips? I think every agent, hopefully every agent, has some advice or counsel they give to folks when they're going to be listing. What counsel when you initially give them?
First thing I like to tell people, I do that initial walkthrough, and we're going to talk about listing it and seeing those things. Sometimes for certain people it's very sensitive, but I try to tell them to declutter, depersonalize, fix up some curb appeal on some items. And my biggest one of all, I like people to deep clean. People don't mind being dirty in their own home, but if they're looking to buy another home, they expect those people to be spotless. And you and I both know, showing people in houses, they see a little dirt, and it's a huge turnoff for some.
Oh, yeah. Up here, we were discussing before we met to come on, I've had hoarders.
Yeah.
And hoarders, literally, they're paths. The stuff's waist chest high, and you walk paths through the home. Yeah, that's a hard one to sell. I avoided a home like that a year or so ago. I thought there's no way I can get the job done given this
And the
condition.
potential buyer can't see the walls. They can't see the floor. There's no, they have no vision of what it's going to be like when all
Right.
that stuff is moved. That could be a huge,
And
shocking experience.
you use the term vision. I truly think that is the most important part, is that a buyer can see themselves in that home,
Absolutely.
a vision of themselves.
And that's why I always tell them to depersonalize.
Yeah.
Because if they're busy looking at your grandkids on the wall, they're not paying attention to the house to purchase.
My advice is always very, very similar. I ask them to keep it clean, keep it thin, another version decluttered and depersonalized. I've had squatters. I've had to have the cops call down a time or two on homes where it's a second home that people live elsewhere, and we literally have people trying to
Squatting.
move in.
Yep.
That disgusts me. And then finally, something. Animal odors, cat, dog urine. The owners are oblivious to it, but wow, is that a turnoff?
I've had clients just walk in the front door and turn right around, didn't even look at the house from the odor. And it's hard to tell, our clients, our selling clients, your house stinks. It's very hard to do that. You have to be very political and be nice and try not to hurt people's feelings, but a lot of people just cannot smell that.
I had a house that I was not able to get sold, and we always, after a home is shown, we always follow up for feedback so we can provide our client feedback. And the feedback every time was cat urine, cat urine.
Yes.
I mean, it truly killed the sale of that home. I have my personal home up for sale, and I have two English bulldogs, and I love them like family members. But I know dogs smell, so recently I took two folks to my home, and I said, take a deep breath. How does it smell? And they both said, dogs.
Yeah.
I'm oblivious to it because I've lived with them. So I'm having I'll say a deeper clean.
Deep clean. Deep clean.
I thought I had it
really-
clean.
I think it really pays off when people get a deep clean. It shows that you're taking care of your home too. If someone's scrutinizing your home to every detail, and they're looking at the windows. The window has not been cleaned out, or the entrances to the doors have not been cleaned out. People think, well, if they're not taking care of that, what else are they not taking care of? To me, it makes a difference. It shows that you care about your home.
I always liken it to selling a car. I mean, if you're trying to sell a car, you should wash it, you should wax it, you should clean the leather or the upholstery, the carpet, vacuuming it out, armor all it, make it shine if you want that
Absolutely.
top dollar. And I don't think there's any difference in trying to sell a home.
I'm 100%. And that leads to another one, light bulbs. It kills me when you go in some of these homes, especially ones in the bathroom that have the 4 or 5 lights. There's one working. Light bulbs are cheap. People got to see the house, and it helps brighten the home up. Make sure all your light bulbs are working. If 3, 4 light bulbs aren't working in the house, they're going to be thinking, oh, is there an electrical problem? You want those little things working.
Don't create doubt in the
Exactly.
buyer's mind. And you do with not having a clean home, not having sufficient lighting. And in preparing for a showing, I always recommend they go around the home, cut all the lights on. One of the knocks, we have so many buyers that come from markets where there's sunshine 365.
Right.
They come up here and we have these all wood interior homes, and they tend to be dark. So I always encourage my sellers, cut every light in the home on, keep it bright to try and
Absolutely.
balance that out, because so many of our buyers are from out of the area. Now, we talked about, you use the term declutter. I use a version of thin. I can remember I got a call one time years ago from an adult daughter wanting her help to sell her father's home. It had been on the market for about a year. And I met with him, and it was a beautiful home. It was kind of a tragic story. He and his wife, long-term wife, had built it, and as they were moving in, his wife became ill and eventually passed from the disease. And he would buy her anything she wanted in decorating the home. And on the coffee table, you might have 1 or 2 decorative items. She, no exaggeration, had 8. There might be a couch, a love seat, and a chair in the great room. Oh no, there were couches with an S, chairs with an S. That home was everything was quality. Everything was nice. And it was a big home, but it looked small. So I sit down with the dad or the father, and I said, are you willing to do what it takes? Because he was getting of an age that it was more difficult to come up. And he said yes. I hired 4 or 5 football players. We spent a Saturday there. I said, take it, take it, take it, take it. Just walking through, and these young strapping fellas, we moved everything to a climate-controlled garage he had. And that home sold in about 2 months.
Yeah. I recommend that too, especially if someone has small kids. You have different stages in their life, equipment and things you need, and a lot of people want to save it for the next kid. Go rent you a storage unit.
Great
get that
advice.
house down to bare minimum that you can live with.
Great advice. Along those lines, when we come back, I'll talk about, had another client that I tried to persuade her, well, look, we'll bring a stager in. You're right. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to hurt their feelings or be harsh. So I tried to move it to bring a stager in, and we'll get to that story when we come back from this commercial break. As always, we so appreciate you listening, and if we can ever help you over at Century 21 Black Bear Realty, we sure hope you'll give us a call. Thank you so much. Today's guest is Tina Mallamas. She was wearing her real estate agent cap. She's also a noted local appraiser, and we are discussing preparing your home to sell. Tina, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, Rick, I moved here with my family, my husband and 3 kids, approximately 25 years ago, and loved it, loved raising our children here. We moved here mostly for the twisty roads, as we're avid motorcyclists, but enjoy the area. Unfortunately, our kids moved out of the area after they got the good education that they were provided here and live elsewhere, but we consider this our home and enjoy the area. I'm been an appraiser for about 23 years and a little over a decade selling real estate.
Does that help you being an appraiser? Does that help you as an agent?
I think being a real estate agent helps me better as an appraiser because I'm
Oh, wow.
seeing way more homes. And you can look at pictures online and go, why did it take that house 4 months to sell? Why did it not sell? Well, as a real estate agent, you're going in a lot more homes and go, oh, I know why that didn't sold. It had some functional issue, or, it was the location near something was affecting it. So I think it's vice versa. I think it helps me more as an appraiser.
Every so often, we'll have a buyer that I don't need to see it. I've seen the pictures, and oh, and we actually have them sign something.
We do, yes.
That is just crazy. You don't know the road to it. You don't know what the neighbors look like. You don't know the subdivision. It's never buy a home
A-
sight unseen.
And I think before COVID, we never had that issue.
Right.
Everyone wanted to come see the house prior to COVID, but I think after that, people were just trying to get out from wherever they were at. And we see more of that, and it's continuing.
And you make a great point there. Pre and post COVID, I always had these three rules: keep it clean, keep it thin, and keep it depersonalized. For years, I would sit down with the sellers, but I got to say, from about 2020 to 2023, I rarely brought that up because I knew the home would sell. Four walls, a roof, we're good. Let's sell it. Then last year, at one point, someone asked, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is the first time I've given this counsel in about 3 years. I mean, I had forgotten, there are things we need to do to prepare the home because from time we got COVID, say January of 2020, sometime around that, forward, if you had four walls and a roof, you were good. It was just crazy, but it slowed down. This year, if y'all listen each week, our market's down. Union County's down close to 50 sales. Well, we're down 46 sales. Towns is down 19 sales. And Clay is dead even with last year as of today. So if you're planning on selling, you need to listen to these tips because you have to prepare. You got to put a little elbow grease in.
Prior to COVID, I would tell people, we'll never be a 30-day market. We'll never be a 45-day market.
Right.
But during COVID, we absolutely were. Prior to that, if you look long term over the years, we're a 4 to 6 month market, usually to market a home and sell it. And I think we're getting slowly back to those norms.
And how quickly people forget. I had something listed as we were coming out of the craziness the last few years, and we didn't have an offer within a week. And the seller was on the phone. Well, what's wrong? You people aren't working. And I thought, my, have we got short memories? They say if you fail to study history, you're doomed to repeat. I thought, good golly, fella. It was mind-boggling because I can remember when it took months to sell a home, and they were upset that it didn't sell in the first week.
And it used to be you'd be lucky to get 3 to 5 people to walk through your home.
Yes, showings.
Yes.
We talked earlier before we went to break. I had a client that, because of her husband's work, they had traveled the world, and they picked up what I'll call tchotchkes all over the world, and they were nice, but they were all over the wall. You literally had a difficult time determining what color the walls were because of all the tchotchkes hung up on the walls. And you talked earlier, you want to be kind, you don't want to upset them. So I thought, okay, I'll let a stager upset them. I'll pay for a stager to come in. Oh no, my house is beautiful the way it is. Needless to say, did not get the job done. And I finally laid it out hard, and she disagreed. So
And that falls in the depersonalization. People don't quite grasp what that means. But I always tell my people, make it feel like you walked into a hotel room. It's nicely decorated. It's calming.
right.
And that's what we're trying to
Sure.
target in getting your house prepped for people to walk through.
I use a similar, so many of our buyers around Florida, and they're probably familiar with the model homes in different subdivisions. And I always harken back to think of it as a model home. They've got a couch, they've got chairs, they've got maybe a love seat. They've got it to where you can envision your furniture there. but it's not over decorated. It's not 1,000 family photos.
And that brings up a point too, when you have maybe an odd shaped house or a little funky layout, as we say, make each area have a purpose. Because someone may not be able to vision putting their furniture in that spot and go, oh, that's a great spot for a reading nook, or, put a breakfast table in the small area. Give them some guidance, but
Right.
don't overpower it with your personalization.
Right. So many people, and I understand, as they have grandchildren, they'll have the stair, what I call the stair wall. It stairs up or stairs down, and they have 100 family photos. Get those down. A few photos of the family make you normal, human, but 100 photos, it's going to be difficult. And you brought this up, Tina. You want to be able to envision yourself there, and if all you see is some other family's photos there, that's going to make it more difficult.
And, that person coming in is going to have to fill all those nail holes, pay someone to paint, especially in a staircase, which is difficult. So, already have that prepped.
Real quick, Packy just gave us the finger, 1 minute finger. I read an article that said move stuff to the garage. If you can't afford a climate-controlled storage, move it to your garage, because most people's garages are junky to begin with. I think the buyer may discount it less if it's in the garage. Make your home look
Absolutely.
as big as possible by thinning out the furniture. Keep it clean, keep it thin, keep it depersonalized.
I agree. And make those repairs. And if you can, get a home inspection. That will help be proactive in presenting that to your potential buyers.
And when you know a showing's coming, cut all your lights on and put your toilet lids down.
Yes.
I hate seeing toilet lids up. It's a picky thing, but it's something we see every day. Folks, as always, we so appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to talking with y'all next week. Thank you.